In the past 10 years we have seen the growth of something that has taken over the world, a revolution we all know about and experience in some way, shape or form. That revolution I'm talking about is that of the World Wide Web. The internet spanned the course of the 1990s to the web boom in the early 21st century. A revolution that expanded rapidly, spawning some of today's biggest companies and enterprises, making some billionaires along the way. The web vastly changed the way the world did business, shopped, studied and communicated all in one fell swoop, effectively paving the way for anyone to voice their opinion and be heard with the growth of social media and Web 2.0. When the web was first invented, it was a geeks-only toy that had very little web pages and almost no way of finding any information. It wasn't until students Mark Andreessen alongside Rob McCool had the vision of the web being used by everyone every day. They set to work and created what was the world's first graphical web browser, which was released in 1993 as Mosaic. Mosaic spread quickly as one of the only means to browse the web. It was Silicon Graphics founder Jim Clark who saw Mosaic's potential and invested in their company, one you might know now as Netscape. Andreessen and Netscape engineers worked hard to release the new browser before anyone else could realise the web's popularity and eventually releasing Navigator. This sparked the browser wars of the mid-1990s between Netscape and Microsoft, releasing version after version going head to head. It was Microsoft who prevailed in the end with controversial tactics and the advantage of billions of dollars. Microsoft released Internet Explorer 4 for free and bundled it in with every copy of their Windows operating system sold. Effectively, Netscape was dead. After the browser wars, the web still wasn't what you might think of it today. Web browsers have made it easier to get online, but it was still almost impossible to find anything. The first to try and fix this was Jerry Yang and David Filo. While trying to win a fantasy league basketball game by using the internet, Yang and Filo began compiling websites into categories to allow them to browse the web more easily. This idea was game-changing at the time and the two lucky students started a company from it, now known as Yahoo. However, it wasn't until another company known as Excite did the fundamental idea of the search engine appear, one that allowed you to type in what you wanted to find. By 1997, both companies were huge and the web boom was underway. Millions were flocking online to see what it was all about. But after trying to make money from banner advertisement, Yahoo and Excite had become what were known as portals. One-stop shops for email, chat rooms and shiny advertisement was popping up all over the place. They had forgotten about their fundamental purpose, being able to find information on the internet. This was the foundation in which Google became a rising star. Larry Page and Sergey Brin noticed the problem with the web and invented a new way of search. This new way was in the form of an algorithm that organised search results by the number of times the site had been linked to. If a site had more links than another, then it would be deemed more useful. Therefore, it would be ranked higher. This algorithm, along with Google not conforming to banner advertisement, is what has led to their continued success over the past 10 years. In following the rise of search, the web exploded during the late 1990s. It has been characterised by Marvin Lieberman as a land grab, where venture capitalists were investing in pointless, pathetic startups and imitating websites, all in a desperate hope to catch the next big thing. Already established firms made large capitalisations, but it wasn't long before it all became too much. And that it did in April 2000. The Nasdaq fell some 300 points, signalling the end of the web boom as what is now known as the dot-com crash, leaving the bigger companies wounded and the smaller dead and gone. After the birth of the web in the 1990s, the internet era was in full swing, but after the dot-com crash it had slowed. But there was still one more recent and most influential change the web was going to bring. Before the web, the information we read, watched or listened to was controlled by the big companies, the ones who ran the television and radio networks or printed the newspapers. These corporations decided when we got our news, how we got it, and how much we had to pay for it. In the last 10 years, there's been a new generation and new era of internet companies. Companies like Twitter, YouTube, MySpace and Facebook that have begun to change the web into a two-way participatory cross-communication platform. Before these companies, the structure of the media was run by the big guys and the corporate executives. As Jay Adelson, CEO of Digg, says in part 4 of Download the True Story of the Internet,
who do you trust more? Do you trust some corporate executive in some smoky-filled back room, or do you trust your peers and the people who are connected to you?
Digg.com was also founded by Kevin Rose as a news-aimed website that, rather than just posting news, it set about harnessing the votes of its users to determine what it put on its front page. This new way of doing things put the power in the user's hands. No longer was the front page controlled by the big media corporations who decided what we could read and see. This was the little guy, or everyday user, getting the chance to put forward what they thought should be front page news. The idea of Digg.com was the seed of many other companies that would soon follow in the wave of Web 2.0 startups. Companies that were set to change the way the public absorbed their media, and was an idea that has the media moguls shaking in their shoes. One of the major breakthroughs in the Web 2.0 rise in 2005 was the idea of Chad Hurley, co-founder of a very popular website and company, YouTube. A website designed to allow anyone to post and share their videos and was summed up in its two-word catchphrase, broadcast yourself. Before YouTube, getting into the TV business was a hard job, and the industry was tight-knit. This was the web's first place where users could create the content for others to view without being part of the media corporations. In the past, video production was something that was done only by professionals. YouTube brought this freedom to everyone, in a website aimed at amateur filmmakers or just anyone who wanted to share their crazy home videos. This was one of the first websites that based its initiative on the user's ideas, not their own. This new Web 2.0 phenomenon was something that had never been seen and is described as the ability for users to contribute back on the two-way platform of the web. As a characterization study by Philip Gill states, the web is slowly morphing with more users creating content. The shift has resulted in the popularity of websites that enable users to build social networks and share content. Venture capitalist and Web 2.0 theorist Fred Wilson also explains
the fact that the people who are firing up their web browsers and going onto the web now can actually contribute back and be a participant in the web experience, whether that's contributing content, whether that's voting on Digg, whether that's taking a video on YouTube and putting it somewhere else. They are having an everyday meaningful impact on what the web is. That to me is what Web 2.0 is all about.
This Web 2.0 idea was the basis of the web to begin with, as Tim Berners-Lee describes.
Originally, the idea of the web was that it would be a two-way thing, that I would be able to contribute, and the web over the last decade has missed that. We are returning to the idea of a read-write web. So the fact that it's a space in which people can write a blog and contribute to a wiki is really exciting for me, because they bring back the common person as the author.
In the book The Network Society, Jan van Dyke states how we are tied to networks in all aspects of our daily lives, from roads, cables, the power grid, and also computer networks such as the internet. And today we live in a connected world, a connected age, a human web and web society. Reasoning behind this is mentioned by David Westerman and Paul Stowsky in the edited work Immersed in Media. Weston and Stowsky state, the concept of presence is generally defined as a sense of being there, caused by media technologies or the perceptual illusion of non-mediation, through downplay of illusionary nature of experience. These ideas all come together in another form of Web 2.0 networking, that is the means of social networking, which has been the most influential era of the internet. In 2003, Chris DeWolf and Tom Anderson built a website known as MySpace that was initially popular by its access to music. Soon it became a means of communication. By 2005, every kid had a MySpace page, and so did every band too. It was a new way to interact, and as defined by the slogan, a place for friends. Not long after the rise, News Corporation came in to buy MySpace for $580 million in 2005. But with the internet, the newest new thing is always just around the corner. And that's exactly what happened with the rise of MySpace rival, Facebook, created by Mark Zuckerberg in 2004. Facebook began to grow rapidly after 2007 and now has more than 900 million members and is one of the most visited websites on the web according to Facebook statistics and a report by Adam Johnson. More recently, the development of mobile devices is allowing users to access these social medias on the go. Facebook statistics also show that more than half the 900 million user base of Facebook is via mobile devices. This trend is furthering our connectivity in this new digital network of communication that seems impossible to escape. The rise of the web went from obscurity to global ubiquity, becoming a vast open medium for anyone to shop, play, express ideas and contribute. The web changed from what it was, a nerd's only play toy, to what it was intended to be when it was created, a global community where anyone and everyone can participate. Nowadays, the web is everywhere, in smartphones and tablets, as we surge through this new post-PC era of technologies, where we have quickly adapted the web into something we can access from anywhere around the world. The new digital world we live in, where we're able to access information at the click of a button or the touch of a screen, is all built on the infrastructure of the web, an interlinking of networks and communications that sure isn't going to go anywhere anytime soon, and will be at the forefront of human development and technologies in the future.